Hello and welcome back to Slide Scholar. In the previous video, we talked about why Lilo and Stitch 2025 was getting a lot of hate. To cut story short, it was due to the creative decisions that people felt weakened the story. For today's presentation, the topic is the hate for Lilo and Stitch 2025 justified or overblown? Despite the film's success at the box office and a high audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, YouTube critics in particular have been very critical about this film, gaining a high amount of traction from viewers and subscribers. Some people have even gone as far as saying that those people never watched the film and are just following the hate train. In today's presentation, we'll be looking at 4 different videos/posts and analysing each comment thread or comments to see whether people are going too far or passionate. Number 1. The YouTube reviewers are haters. Lilo and Stitch 2025 review by Cinema Spins. We start with a comment left by Carolucky2267, who criticizes Cinema Spins for brushing off those videos as haters when people actually had valid criticism. It is then met with a response from 2 users, Disney Girl 2004 and Zigzag Music. Disney Girl 2004 dismisses Carolucky2267's points and straight up says that they were wrong about the ending being bad. Zigzag Music accuses Carolucky2267 of disrespecting Cinema Spin's opinion, since the word shill is used to disrespect people's opinions and views on Disney. Christian Bank 6450, however, agrees with Carolucky2267. Carolucky2267 herself then responds to both Disney Girl 2004 and Zigzag Music. She says to Zigzag Music that she doesn't actually hate Disney and that she was uncritical of the film. She clarifies to Disney Girl 2004 as to why the changes made weakened the story overall, while also dismissing the high audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. The thread then ends with Christian Banks 6450 agreeing again with Karaoke 2267, whilst also saying that Zigzag Music had insulted them for not liking the movie. My take on this? Well, while I understand Karaoke 2267's frustration with the film, she ironically also dismissed Sigma Spin's opinions on most other reviews, not understanding why the negativity was overwhelming. As for the word shill, while sort of fitting since Sigma Spins didn't seem to fully understand the hate, it immediately shuts down discussion and invites dismissive responses, which of course led to the replies from Zigzag Music and Disney Girl 2004. But that doesn't mean Disney Girl 2004 and Zigzag Music are innocent either. They should have responded dismissively and accusatory to Karaoke 2267 when she was just trying to explain that those negative reviews were not hating for the sake of hating. Number 2. A community post. General thoughts on the live action Lilo and Stitch from Anibox Facts. In this particular community post, we begin with a comment left by Lucas Wani, who says that despite Gantu's absence and Jumbo's horrible betrayal, it was one of the best live-action remakes from Disney. However, it is soon met with a dismissive response from the new guy 667, who tells him to stay off drugs. When Lucas Wani questions him, the new guy 667 replies, saying that the film may be worse than the other remakes. Anti-cartoon lover 3383 then enters and says that it's better than the Pinocchio remake, along with many others. But the new guy 667 dismisses his perspective, arguing that the remakes butchered the morals of the original films. Soon after, the Nexus narratives confronts the new guy 667, saying people's opinions can be questioned as long as they are respected. The new guy 667, instead of backing down, claims that they were just speaking facts. Nexus then clarifies he was referring to his stay off drugs comment. Gamer artist 9885 joins the fray and responds to Manic Cartoon Lover 3383, agreeing with the new guy 667. They also respond to Lucas Wani. The Nexus narratives replies to them, saying that Lucas isn't wrong for having a positive opinion. Gamer Artist 9885 then aggressively attacks the Nexus narrators by saying that if he doesn't want to be told he's wrong, then he shouldn't publicly express his perspective. Lucas Wani replies, telling Gamer Artist 9885 to calm down. The Nexus narrators then clash back at Gamer Artist 9885 by calling out his immaturity and condescending attitude. My take on this? First of all, the new guy 667 and Gamer Artist 9885 are both responsible for poisoning the thread. Their comments included dismissiveness and inappropriate language, especially Gamer's rant towards Nexus. That was seriously overblown and can contribute to a form of verbal abuse. Second of all, it's fine to be frustrated, but it doesn't justify lashing out at someone for liking something you did not. It reveals your inability to respect differing opinions. Number 3. Does Lilo and Stitch deserve the hate? Movie review by Brandon Kiyoshi. This comment thread takes place on a YouTube short. You Can't Handle It 7 leaves a comment saying that if people like the remake, they're not a Lilo and Stitch fan. LalaLoopsies_United replies to a deleted comment left by Jackson5515 Fisher, agreeing with You Can't Handle It 7. The Nexus narrators, whom we saw earlier, disagrees with Lala, saying that You Can't Handle It 7 isn't allowed to decide who's a fan or not. LalaLoopsies_United replies that being a true fan means liking the original. The Nexus narrators reiterate that opinions need to be respected, regardless of who that person is, and they use an example of when they were aggressively attacked by Gamer Artist 9885. LalaLoopsies_United claims that people have been attacking those who dislike the film, and that verbal abuse is valid if the other person is up with you. The Nexus narrators then states that the difference was he was never verbal to Gamer Artist 9885 to start with, but LalaLoopsies_United continues to justify verbal abuse regardless of the situation. Things then take a dark turn when LalaLoopsies_United claims that it's silly to prevent harassment or any kind of discriminatory act in the future. Lucy's_United would then go on to say that verbal abuse is a normal human response, and that people deserve to be roasted if they can't handle criticism from other people on their opinions. My take on this, straight off the bat, Lucy's_United and You Can Handle It 7 are definitely in the wrong. What You Can Handle It 7 said is a good example of gatekeeping. People can be fans of the remake and the animated franchise. Lucy's_United, on the other hand, is misinterpreting what Nexus is saying. Nexus tried to say that harassment either way was wrong, but Lala took that to mean he's defending harassment. She also said it's not harassment if you're defending yourself, but that's not what Nexus was saying either. Number 4. Lilo and Stitch 2025 review. A good Disney live-action remake by Electric Dragon 505. This final one I'm taking a look at is actually a more serious issue than the other ones discussed beforehand. Animation critic Matt Burnett, or as his online alias Animat, uploaded a review of the film about 1 week ago. In his podcast, he claimed that the hate for the film was overblown and toxic. And unfortunately, his claims were proven right. Several minutes after posting his review, he was met with strong comments dismissing his opinions. Especially this comment left by the infamous Diaz Station, who had a not so good past before coming back late last year. Why did I say this was serious? That is because, rather than calmly or strongly disagreeing with Matt, they're insulting his taste, questioning his attention span towards the movie, and worst of all, this goes to the attention by the way, being incredibly toxic towards someone with a different opinion. I honestly wouldn't be surprised that in Anime Hates the Film, they'd be the complete opposite of what they said. Now to answer the big question. Is the hate for the film overblown or justified? My answer? It is overblown, but not because of what you think. It's not because people are hating the movie. They absolutely are allowed to. The problem is that it's getting to a point where those who like the movie are getting attacked by those who didn't, and vice versa. That's why it's overblown. The hate should only be maintained on the film, not on those who liked or disliked it. We need to create a space for everyone to have their say, not gatekeep specific responses. And before we go down to the comments and say, but Slime Scholar, those liking the film are attacking mediocrity, I need you to just hold on for a second. You don't have the right to police people's tastes on films. Encourage critical thinking, yes, but telling people what they can and can't enjoy is where the line has to be drawn, especially if you harass them for having a different mindset than your own. And I hate to admit this, but this is literally even worse than the Hateful vs. White remake, since all that was used to produce a controversy prior to release. Anyways, the next video is going to be an entirely new topic based on a common thread I came across a while ago. This was Slight Scholar. Till next time.